Hi, my name is Maria 5. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I've had pneumonia for the last 3 weeks, so I finally have a voice back, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Piranesi by Susanna Clark. And I've got a make and some tea. So the tea today is masala chai. There we go, yeah. This is what it looks like in the bag. Yeah, I'll see if I can kind of smooth it out for you a little bit here. It's black tea. It's very smoky. There is whole cardamom pods in there. There's anise. There is some fennel. There's some rose. There's all kinds of stuff in here. And it's really a good, strong, amazingly smelling tea. Absolutely delicious. Good on a sore throat. And then the make, I have these earrings that I have made. So that's the dragonfly and there's the kitty. To go with my dragonfly, oh, right here on my blazer. Thanks to my mom. And yeah, and into the book. So this book, Susanna Clark, this is not her first novel. Her first novel was Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I have not read that book. It took her, I think, 20 years to write it, though. So yeah, and this one was about 10 years in the making. I was first made aware of it by Neil Gaiman, who mentioned it and has interviewed Susanna Clark about, I think, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and that was what first intrigued me. I'm a huge fan of Neil Gaiman, so if he recommends something, I typically pay attention. So that's how I became aware of this book. This book is 2023, so not particularly old. It was just a really, really interesting read. Yeah, completely delightful, unexpected, definitely fantasy, definitely magic involved, but just a really, really good read. So we have Piranesi, and he is the main character, the protagonist, and he lives in a large space, maze, labyrinth, full of rooms, and the rooms, some of them have oceans, some of them have birds, there's tides, there's water, there is seaweed, there are places that he goes to fish. There's all these statues and he becomes aware of them. He has his favorites, he writes about them. He has journals, and the journals are all indexed by hand. He writes in them, he documents all the rooms, knows his way around the labyrinth really, really well. And it's just such an odd setting. And then there is the other that he meets twice a week. And he's invented this whole calendar all on his own, but he meets him twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, I think. And they discuss whatever they need to discuss. And the other, we find out later in the book, his name is Mr. Ketterley. But we don't know that in the beginning. He is just referred to as Other, the Other. This is all told by Piranesi's point of view. But the main character is actually Lawrence Arne Salis. I'm not exactly sure how to say that. He's the main character. He's the guy that started everything. He was a professor. He had a little cult going in his group, in his classroom, and they were performing magic. He swore up and down that he could take people into other worlds. And he managed to create this ritual and took people to these other worlds. And finally he discovered a way where there was no ritual, there was just this place, and he needed to somehow disconnect himself, and then he would end up in this other world. So he appears to Piranesi and says, hey, that Dr. Ketterley, watch out for him. And then everything slowly starts to unravel. And Piranesi starts really questioning everything, going back, and I don't want to give anything away, but wow, what a book. It is just, yeah, really, really enjoyable. I just want to read you something. There is a thing that I know but always forget. Winter is hard. The cold goes on, and it is only with difficulty and effort that a person keeps himself warm. Every year, as winter approaches, I congratulate myself on having a plentiful supply of dry seaweed to use as fuel. But as the days, weeks, and months stretch out, I become less certain that I have sufficient. I wear as many of my clothes as I can cram onto my body. Every Friday, I take stock of my fuel and I calculate how much I can permit myself each day in order to make it last until spring. Wow, it is so powerful. She's a brilliant writer. She's so descriptive. You really are there. You're in this really large glass labyrinth house with all these statues. It's incredible. So if you're looking for a good read and you are contemplating possibly something a little different, something a little out of the ordinary, I would totally recommend giving this a shot, giving this a try. It is just really delightful. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.